Alright, hey everyone, we are back for another guide here. Tour 8 now. I'm going to set up my bag here. In Tour 8, I would say that, distance isn't necessarily a priority, but it is something that you want to keep in mind, for sure. You definitely don't need, the most amount of ball guide to get through this tour. You don't have to worry about driver on the shootouts or anything like that. So when I'm picking a driver, in my opinion, I'm looking at the bottom line, and really any of those four options, in my opinion, are good ones. So, for that, with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and I'll take the weakest driver just to show you guys that most times I'm going to be okay. Now, granted, there might be a couple times where somebody comes and beats me outright, and I'm thinking specifically about one or two long par fives that if the wind's just right and my opponent can get there and I can't, that's going to be the real potential loss for me. But it's going to come up so little that it's not something that I'm worried about. So I'm just trying to pick something that I can virtually guarantee I'm going to put in play. Basically going to avoid the need of my rough iron and sand wedge altogether. So during my videos, you're going to see me need to pull those out very, very little. But keep in mind, the ones that I'm keeping on the rough iron, and I'm keeping on this sand wedge that are also real long in length. I don't care if they're low level, even 1, 2, level 1, level 2. I'm just putting them on for that distance aspect. So, with that being said, you see my wedge game and my short iron. I'm just kind of going with some accuracy. But what I like about this claw, especially for this tour, the full backspin option, just similar to Thorn, is we'll be able to do some full backspin shots in case we need them. And there is quite a few holes that we might. So it's definitely something to keep in mind for this tour. Additionally, there's one or two shootouts where you're going to need a high power long iron. Now, me personally, I'm going to take B52, but for the sake that you guys might not have a B52, I'm assuming you're going to need at least a level 4 or 5 for it to be adequate enough for this tour. And since everybody might not have that, you can use Goliath early on. Just keep in mind your accuracy number might not be the same as mine. So when I'm talking shootouts to you guys, I'm going to be giving you more max numbers, and you'll have to do your own conversions. If your accuracy on Goliath is, say, 30, which it is, and maybe a level 5, level 6, I'm trying to think. When your accuracy is right around 30, you have to play at 2.4 per ring. I'm going to only have to play mine 2.0 per ring. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind, this is the one tour, pretty much the only tour in the game, that across the board I like Guardian. The biggest reasons is for the just overwhelming amount of every shot, no matter what wind on any hole, can be done with Guardian. I really do like the extra accuracy on Sniper. However, for this tour, the full backspin approach, in my opinion, can be good, at least for sure. In my opinion, you're going to win more times with being able to just do full backspin shots and get it close on at least 3 holes in this tour. Mostly the Sakura Hills holes. But what's nice about this club is you can utilize the full backspin shot. I can virtually do it with almost any shootout. So it's not, entirely mandatory that you have it just for a few holes. I'm going to show you that you can utilize it for, basically all of them. will have a Guardian shot at all times. So that's one of the biggest reasons that I use Guardian in this store. And aside from that, you know, it's going to be about putting the ball in play. That's what it's going to come down to. Hopefully you guys found these Tour 8 tips for the clubs advantageous. Let me go over balls real quick. So for the most part, you know, I'm going to ball down and maybe stick with Marlins, Navigators, and Quasars. So I'm going to do very little of anything else. The only time that I might pull out another ball is if it's absolutely mandatory that I think I'm going to get beat if I don't. So keep that in mind when you see my ball selection. I'm selecting these balls for a reason. It's basically to avoid getting beat outright and not making it to the shootout. So that's going to be the key that we're going to focus on when we're playing Golf Clash. Is essentially, you know, the most important thing is getting to the shootout and making as few mistakes as possible to give ourselves the chance at as many shootouts as possible. And as we increase our playing ability with the shootout, then we'll be able to increase our winning percentage and have better success at Golf Clash. So hopefully you guys find these tips useful. And I'll see you guys out on the golf course. I'm going to, you know, just kind of close this video down just as kind of an intro to Tour 8. And good luck out there. I'll see you guys on some holes.